here we are, Nick and myself, just the two of us. So, just the two of us. Unfortunately, so on this week it would normally be Nick, myself, Jerome, and Hegan. Casey normally doesn't participate on this particular weekend where we would run Rime of the Frost Maiden. However, aside from Casey, Jerome had some stuff he had to take care of today. More specifically, volunteering. Not exactly sure what for, but more power to him. Sounds like he's doing something good for the community. I have a feeling I know what it is. I do, but it's not something I'm going to get into here. That's between him and you know, his personal life. So I thought we would take this as an opportunity where you and myself, Nick, Patrick, we alternate week to week as DMs, acting DMs. 2 different campaigns. You got yours, I got mine. I thought it was an excellent opportunity for the two of us to sit down and just talk about what it is, what it's like, what it means, what it could be, what it should be to be a DM.
How do you feel about it?
Well, when you put it like that, jeez.
I think it's great, honestly.
Doing this?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, for my first campaign, Rime of the Frost Maiden has been fun for me.
Yeah.
So creatively, and I mean, because let's face facts, I mean, I'm pretty sure people out there have probably noticed I have gone off the fucking books on a lot of stuff that's on there.
Off of Rime of the Frost Maiden? Gone off book. You're doing what you feel helps fill the campaign and make it run better. Absolutely. No, I mean, I haven't noticed because I don't know. I haven't read the book, but you could lie to me and tell me that everything's in the book. I would have no idea.
Everything's in the book. Everything I have done.
But I totally get that. I've done it myself several times. Almost every time. Right?
It's like sometimes, like for me as a new DM, it's like I can't help it. I see something on there and I think, yeah, that's good. But you know what? I have my own little way. And I think about it throughout the fucking week too.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things that keeps me sane.
Thinking about next week's campaign?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really does. So it's
totally
just like I think about, like, oh, I read this one part. How can I make that better? Oh, fuck, I could do it this way. Oh, perfect. I'll add on from that.
Right.
And that's exactly what I do. Like, I don't care if it pisses off people or anything like that.
No, I don't.
I just do it because it's fun.
I don't.
And hopefully, and I also do it because, you know, I hope you guys like it.
And that was kind of where I was going to piggyback off of what you were saying. I think these campaigns that we've been playing from the book are good. Some are better than others, right? But we as DMs, even though this is your new to DMing, you know the group. You played in the group. You know our dynamic. The book doesn't.
Nope.
So I don't see any reason why you can't go off book. Done it myself. To change and create something within that campaign that's a little more fitting for our dynamic, our group. And I can't imagine anybody would have. As a matter of fact, I think they would logically tell you that you're off your nut if you don't. If you're just sticking to the book because it's in the book and you're not curtailing the campaign to what's fun for your group, I think you're doing it wrong, in my small, humble opinion.
It's not always fun going by the book.
No.
It's not.
No.
Because there's no imagination there and everything. And I think D&D is one of those things where you need to let your imagination just flow.
Yes.
And I try and do that.
I agree. D&D for me is an opportunity for a creative outlet. And I'm sure, like myself, you, like myself, and I'm not knocking my job. It is what it is. I actually appreciate my job. I appreciate what I do. But there's not a lot of creative outlet there.
No.
Right? It is what it is. So to have something in my life that provides that, I think helps to make me more well-rounded.
Yes.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And to your point, more directly, if I were to boilerplate that down, help keep my sanity.
Yes.
Yes.
It's I think it's always good to have something that you can think about other than, if your work. I mean, if you love your job, you love your job.
Sure.
Me, it's a love-hate relationship. Past 2 weeks, it's been a real hateful relationship. But, it's just like I take my mind from that and I put it onto D&D while still doing my job.
Yep.
And then, amazingly, I actually, my job versus, me being at home. I could jot down a whole bunch of stuff. But it seems to be, when I'm at work, I can let it, even though I don't jot it down and I have to try really hard to fucking remember it when I go home so I can write it down in notes
Yes.
about what I want to do. But it seems that, at work, I come out with more.
More ideas.
More. Yeah. It's just it's more, I put more detail into it when I'm at work versus when I'm sitting at home. Because obviously when I'm sitting at home, I'm either playing a video game or I'm watching, movie, anime, what have you. Or I'm playing games in the chat with you guys.
Right.
So, I mean, it's sometimes I get ideas.
Yes.
And I try and jot it down really quickly.
Yep.
But, I mean, there's a difference.
You can try this. I won't say I do this all the time, but I do try to do this. When I come home, I try not to be the first thing that I do is sit down and relax.
Mm-hmm.
Because once I sit down on that couch and turn on the TV, I'm basically saying my day's done.
Yeah, you flip that switch.
You flip that switch. You flip one on, you're turning another one off, right?
Yep.
So I like to come home and immediately go into the office, make dinner, do the dishes, do laundry, whatever, but then go in the office. And then if there's some things that I want to work on, whether it's on the podcast or for a campaign or some idea I've had, that's when I feel most creative, at least in my personal life, right? So just a suggestion. Works for me. I know that's not for everybody. Another end of the spectrum's like Jerome. I know when he wakes up in the morning at 4 o'clock in the freaking morning, the first thing he does is go to the gym.
Well, I don't go to the gym, but I do wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Right. So, and I wouldn't do that, right?
Right.
I would go to the gym after work. So you find what works best for you. So, what do you prefer? Do you prefer being a dungeon master, a game master, or a player character? What do you prefer and why?
I think, honestly, my gameplay kind of reflects on that. Because as a DM, I'm a lot more talkative. I'm controlling all these NPCs. I'm controlling the story, and I'm leading you guys down, different paths and everything like that. And as a PC, I'm a lot more quiet. I'm not so boisterous. If that's even a word.
Vocal.
There we go. And it's just and it's something that I'm working on. I'm trying. I've even thrown accents into there to try and help me even speak even more.
Right.
But so far, being a DM is, to me, it's a lot more fun than being a PC right now. Because it's bringing out a whole lot more.
Yeah.
But I need to have, as a PC player or character, I need to bring what I do as a DM to as a PC.
Yep. I understand what you're saying. Similar. Don't get me. I like being a player character, and it's nice once in a while. But given gun to the head, sword to the throat, if I were to be forced to choose one, and it's close, it's DM, because there's more involved. And it's counterintuitive. A lot of people look at it and like, man, that's a lot of work. There's a lot to do. There's a lot you have to keep track of, etc., etc. Well, there's one thing a DM isn't. That's bored. It keeps you busy.
Yeah.
You're helping to keep the story moving. You're providing information to the players so they can react to it. In combat, you got to keep track of what everybody's doing. And,
right.
And you usually have multiple monsters, NPCs that you're dealing with. I know that my accents are crap, but that's okay. Not every DM needs to...
You do a good Australian one, though, that's for sure. And a Brooklyn one.
and Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
My Arnold is awful. I know that.
Oh, mine is too.
Yours is better than mine. I kind of on a tangent, though. I saw a video earlier this week where this guy walks you through this process of how to create 100 different accents using your own like character for voice acting, like how to create 100 different sounding characters. I haven't been able to watch the whole thing, but I'm going to definitely check it out and play around with that just for fun. Playing a player character for me is the deep dive into a player character. It's also strangely a deep dive into the game mechanics, but it's specific to that class and subclass, right? And as you know, I like to play around in that area because I'm trying to, being the mid-maxing elitist bastards that we are, we are. Make no bones about it. Different styles for different people. I know Jerome, and I believe you all feel the same way. It's fun to try to figure out how to really min-max your character.
Oh, yeah.
And not just, one. Like, it's not like every time I play a character, it's always going to be this class, this subclass, because it is the most min-max. It's every class, every subclass. How can I minimize, maximize, be the most effective at that? But at the same time, and admittedly, I don't think I do as much of it as I would like to, digging into the character itself, their background, who are they, what motivates them. It's interesting. Like to do more. I do some of it, like to do more, could do better. The DM though, man, I mean, like, you don't have to worry about any of that. You have to come up with some motivation for your NPCs. Most of them, not all. The guy working behind the counter selling a beer, you don't necessarily have to have motivation figured out there, but
no.
That diversity of moving around between all these various NPCs and how they interact with the characters and trying to make them somewhat interesting, somewhat unique in a lot of aspects. It's just it's fun, but I'm never bored.
No.
Right? There are times, and I don't begrudge anybody when I'm sitting there listening to another player character interact with the DM, and they're trying to do that. They're trying to flush something out. Absolutely give them the opportunity to do that. By all means. But as a player character, you got some choices. You can sit there and listen, or you can maybe read the player's handbook, or unfortunately some people will then dive into their cell phone and, I don't know, do something. Look at TikToks and Instagram.
I'm guilty of that sometimes.
I wasn't accusing anybody of anything.
No, I'm God dang it.
It's that drink, that Jameson's.
Oh man, it's not. Yeah, it's
kicking in.
Still keeping my lips tight.
Keeping your lips tight.
My brain ain't working right.
That drink's supposed
This is working at like 100 miles an hour. This thing isn't keeping up.
Gotcha.
I'm not saying that you're pointing fingers at anybody. I'm pointing the finger at myself.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
And there we go.
There you go. Just as a side note, for those who may or may not be listening, hopefully listening, we are drinking, and we normally don't. Normally we don't drink when we're gaming. It just, for us, it doesn't mix very well. Things kind of go off the rails. But today, because we're not being serious gamers, we're drinking a new concoction. We didn't make it up ourselves. We stumbled upon it. And it's part Jameson, part Bailey's, part Guinness, part ice cream. So it's basically called a Guinness milkshake. There's nothing healthy or good about this.
There is. Great idea, though. Great idea. So I actually wanted to bring up another point there.
Shoot.
So with the DM side, you have all this planned out. You have, you got the future all planned out for your players, depending on what path they want to go and everything like that. And granted, you can also, if they go fucking off the deep end,
Right.
you can plan for that. You really can.
Yeah.
Granted, it might not be as good as, pre-planned shit, but I mean, you try and make it work.
Yes.
For players, it's different. It's like you have up to a certain point where, if you're taking that time, you're at work and everything like that, you're on your lunch, you're thinking about like, oh man, like I know we're going to be facing a dragon on this round. Like, what can I do, to make that combat or
Be more
that
effective.
period to that point, be really cool.
Yes.
And then a lot of the other time, it's basically you're thinking back. Fuck, I should have did this different. Man, I wish I didn't do that.
Yes.
Shit, I wish I had a different character.
A character that was mid-max for the situation a little differently. Is that what you're trying to say? Maybe a little bit? Just a
little bit. But and this is another thing as a DM versus mixed max elitist bastards
Yes.
like us, is that I have to come up with stronger monsters.
Yes.
So like the thing that I've been doing so far is like sometimes I'll give them a spell. Might be out of, a book from
Yes.
my many cards that I have purchased,
Yes.
or even sometimes like something off of like, Reddit, TikTok, Instagram, one of their spells, or maybe it's something that I just freaking, pull out my ass.
Yep.
And then I'll give it to them.
Yep.
And hopefully that's a surprise for you guys. But, you guys being the min-max,
Yeah.
it is hard for these monsters to fucking stay alive.
Yes. I feel your pain. Yes.
So, like, and for all the viewers, listeners, like, they have given me 2 new books.
Yes.
And I take it that is Cobalt Press.
Yes, they are Cobalt Press books.
So one is a Monster Codex, and the other one is a
One's called the Creature Codex,
Creature Codex.
and the other one's called Tomb of Beasts 2.
Tomb of Beasts 2. So I'm going to take...
I'm sorry, Tome of Beasts. Tomb. No, it's Tomb of Beasts.
Tomb of Beasts.
Yes.
So already I have gone through a decent amount. Like, I haven't gone through all of it, but
Sure.
I have already picked out
Yes.
monsters and everything like that. Hopefully you guys will come up against them.
Yeah.
But I've also buffed them
Yes.
in my own little elite way.
Yes.
Hopefully there'll be a little bit more of a challenge for you guys.
I understand completely.
Because like I think the monsters, because a lot of the monsters that I've been using, of course, have been out of the monster manual,
Yep.
have been out of
The campaign.
the Frostbane
Yep, the
campaign,
book.
and I've done my own little quips here and there, but it's just like health. You guys drain it out way too fast.
Oh yeah. We bring the DPS.
I could work on my tactics,
Yes.
so maybe I need to read some books, maybe some war books.
Okay.
Granted, I already have a whole bunch of like tactics in my head, but the thing is just like depending on if it's a dungeon, it's a little bit more difficult. Like, ooh, he popped out of a fucking closet.
Right.
You guys are gonna take care of him easy.
Yes.
It's like whoop-de-doo if you guys get spooked or you get or whatever. Like I want something like you guys go down a hallway and everything like that. Oh look, you missed that secret door. Then you go into a room where there's a bunch of monsters. But hey, since you missed that secret door, guess who's coming out of that door and gonna flank you? Stuff like that.
Yes.
I want to keep you guys on. I want to be able to have that ability to keep you guys on your toes.
Right. You want to make it exciting.
Yes.
Right. If it's repetitive and the combat's always the same, and there's no threat, it loses. At first, it's fun. You're like, I'm kicking the ass out of your monsters. I'm kicking the ass out of your NPCs. But eventually, it's just like it becomes redundant. The combat becomes redundant.
Yeah.
Nice. One of the, and I'm not saying this is perfect because it wasn't, but little tweaks like you're talking about. I did it last week. You guys went into this room and there were these blood elementals.
Yeah.
So tweak number 1, I didn't throw 1 at you. I threw 6. And that's an easy tweak, right?
Numbers,
increase the numbers. One of its abilities was that it was able to draw blood from you, like almost like a vampiric sucking of blood, and you take necrotic damage from that. But in the book, it works kind of like a dragon's breath, where every round the DM rolls, and if they roll a 5 or a 6, the ability is renewed. But they can only renew it on that 5 and 6.
Right.
Fuck that.
Right.
I just got rid of that.
Use it whenever you want to.
And I used it every round.
Oh, I know you did.
Every round. Every attack.
That pinned us to a flipping wall.
And just kept pinning you guys. That's the other thing. And I know Jerome hates this because it's like, he's in a previous campaign, he continuously got feared.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Or stunned. This is just another way of doing the same thing to him, whereas like he can't just run around and murderize your monsters. It's crowd control.
Right.
Is it a perfect solution? No. Still try. I think I will always have to keep dialing that, right? A little bit to the left, a little bit to the right, a little more damage, a little more hit points, a little less damage, a little less hit points, and just keep dialing, more abilities. I really like 5th edition. I do. But I don't think it does a very good job of balance in the CR versus character levels. And I know there's people out there who would argue, probably because they figured out the secret sauce. And that's the trick, is trying to figure out the secret sauce. And that's just going to come from time and experience.
Yeah.
But it would have been nice that a 5th edition had made it easier, that the secret sauce was a little easier to find, more specifically right out of the gate.
Yeah. One of the things that and this is what I would say to like any sort of new DM or even an existing one, when the book says, after they do this mission, they automatically level up, I think you should make that decision if they do or not.
Okay.
So, spoiler, in Rime of the Frost Maiden,
oh no,
there are a few of those
where it tells
where if you guys did this certain mission,
you get to a certain chapter.
Yeah.
Yep.
And if you finish this and everything like that, they level up automatically.
Sure.
And I'm just like, how about not? My players are already pretty damn strong. I mean, you guys are what, 13th on your way to 14th level now?
Yeah. Yes.
And I mean, in that amount of time since we have started this,
yes,
I'd say that's, that was pretty quick. And it's just, there's some points where you guys have finished a quest and it's like, yeah, they automatically level. I'm just like, no, they don't.
Yes. Like, correct me if I haven't read Rime of the Frostmaiden. I've obviously almost every other campaign book I have read and DM'd. I don't know about Rime, so correct me if I'm off base here. My experience with those other books, they do something similar, but they've always had the caveat of this is a choice, a DM's choice. Does Rime of the Frostmaiden say you absolutely have to be this level at this, or is like maybe you should? This is an option.
So it does give you the options, everything like that. It does say, oh, your character should be this level at this point.
Yeah.
And everything like that. But like, I'll choose what portion of this what portion of this should go in the story. So if you guys like, and you guys almost did this but I kind of I used my imagination and I pushed you guys into a different direction of something that I created.
Yep.
And everything like that, because you guys were literally, you were 2 levels under.
Yep.
When you did this. So I was just like, okay, well, you know what? I'm going to have them do some stuff until they get up there.
Right.
And the funny thing is like, I made the mistake. I forgot that you guys were mid-maxing elitist bastards.
Yes. We didn't need those extra 2 levels, did we?
You probably only needed 1.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Granted, even at the level that you guys were at, you could have still done some damage to the monsters and everything like that.
Sure.
So, like, for example, Sunblight Keep was one of those.
Yes.
It was like, oh, they should probably be, you know, in between, I think it was like 9 and 10. But to where it was in the book and everything, and how much you guys already accomplished and what direction you guys took,
yeah,
and everything, I was just like, okay, well, you know what, I'm gonna make them do this really quick. You know, like the whole Lost Spire of Nethro.
Yes.
So I had you guys go and do that.
Yes.
I had you guys go and do like that the cave and everything like that, where you guys face the hag.
Okay, sure.
And your cauldron.
Yeah, the freaking cauldron.
I love that damn thing.
Do you? Because I got the impression you hated that damn thing.
Oh, I love that damn thing. Because it pisses you off every time it gets stolen.
Yeah. Dirtbags.
All it is a fucking cauldron, too. It's just, oh my god. But yeah,
all right, well, let's talk about the cauldron.
Okay, let's talk about the cauldron.
From a player you know, I'm not really complaining. But from the player character's perspective, they did something really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys gave that cauldron to East Haven's people, and they offered you guys gold,
and we gave it to them as a donation of goodness.
Yeah.
And then some jackwagon steals it. We go out of our way to get it back.
Yep.
Again, no charge, out of the goodness and love of our hearts. And another jackwagon steals it again. So yeah, to say that my character's a little pissed is, I think, a natural response.
Oh my god. That is so good, though. Who would have figured that a cauldron would have frustrated you so much?
Yeah, that's true. It's interesting how characters can gravitate to some weird stuff that you, as the DM...
an item or a certain person and everything like that. Oh, yeah.
Yes, exactly.
See, like, for the story, it was another PC player character.
Yeah.
So it was Casey's character. Story always felt like he needed to protect her and everything, sure. And whenever she did something stupid, he would go in and save her.
Right. Like when she got teleported through the portrait.
Yep.
Yeah, good times.
Without hesitation, the story went in.
Yes.
No problem. Like, yeah, stuff like that, I think, like, progresses your character and progresses like a story for yourselves.
Absolutely. I agree.
Like having, that's another thing for when it comes to backgrounds.
Yes.
So it's just like, you see how the story would protect people, do his best, and everything like that. Even fight a nemesis one-on-one.
Right.
You know, and go through all this stuff for his group and a particular person.
Right.
And everything like that. Well, his story is, you know, he's a very protective person, and he tries to protect those because of how many people he's already lost.
Sure.
You know, you don't get to 150 some odd years old and not lose people.
True. Fair enough. Yeah. So, on a different note, what do you think is the most important quality being a player character?
Definitely have an opinion.
Yeah, sure.
You know, if something doesn't, and I don't really overdo this. If there's something that you do not like, go ahead and voice your opinion.
Yeah.
But don't F with your party. You know, don't make them hate you.
Right.
To the point where it's like, if there's a trap, you fall in it and they don't help you, You know, and I granted this, our group here wouldn't do that, but I'm talking about like other groups that like people that you haven't played with.
Right.
And I'm pretty sure you guys have gone through this already.
Where I've played with somebody who made the experience miserable.
Yes.
Sure.
Don't be that guy.
Don't be that person.
Or girl. Don't be that person.
Yes.
It's bad. It ruins your reputation as a player.
Yeah.
And it just makes the game awful. Not saying that you have to cater to everybody, because you don't.
Nope. I agree.
But voice your opinion in a way where it's just like...
It's constructive.
Your voice, yeah, it's constructive.
Yes.
It helps the story, helps your story, and, you know, you could get a point across, and then hopefully everybody will be on your side with it.
Absolutely. Yep.
Another thing is, you know, for me, I think it's being more active.
I was going to say be engaged.
Engaged.
Yes.
Exactly. You know... Like, I think that what's holding me back is because I just don't want to seem like I'm a dumbass.
Yeah, and I think that is a problem we have generally as our group, right? There is this behind the scene in the brain kind of thing where it's like, if I do something stupid, I'm going to create a bad situation, and it's not even the mocking. Like, haha, you screwed up. It's not that. It's more of a, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe that you put our characters through this because you made that bad decision.
TPK.
I since we started playing 5th edition, we have not had a single TPK for reals.
No, we have not.
It's I guess the word I'm looking for is judgment.
Yes.
There's a fear of that your choice and decisions will be judged.
The fear of failure.
And I think we need to... It's actually a problem, I think, that stems from veteran players. From the standpoint of... They're like, well, I've been doing this so long, I shouldn't fall for that trap. Mm-hmm. Right? It's like... If there's a good level of trust between the DM and the players should feel a little more free. I mean, choices have consequences, yes. That's part of the game. But if the player characters are free to make choices, and some of them be bad, I think that creates a better, more open game for everybody. And I think that's something we as a group need to work on.
Yeah, because I think with us it's like win win win. You know, and I need to break myself of this mentality.
Yeah,
like it's not all about winning. If you lose, you lose. You know, you should accept it and everything and move on with a story. You know, and the thing too with like a DM, if they do make bad decision, maybe try and give them like a little hint to like, oh, you can try and fix it.
Yes.
You know, like, or give them a little bit of incentive, you know, and like, hey, not all is screwed. You still have a chance. Don't put that despair into your characters, no matter how much of a, I mean, that all depends on how much of a dick you are.
I think there should be part of the story, because it's a story. Everybody's sitting at the table working together to create a story.
Yep.
And for it to be a good story, there has to be
shenanigans.
No, I mean that too. Not to be too Monty Pythonish, but that happens. It's unfortunately a natural part of things, even for myself. To be a better story, there has to be that moment of the world is against me.
Yeah.
And the path before me seems insurmountable to the character. But if the players trust the DM and the DM is decent enough, there is a way out.
Yeah.
And to create that better story is to overcome that obstacle. Right? it can't all be smooth sailing,
No, it can't.
or it's not a good story.
It's not. You need to have those moments where your characters feel. I mean, contradiction myself is great. Where I don't want to say where they have to feel despair, but they feel like they're at that low point.
Right.
But then you also, like you said, you gotta trust your DM, and they need to figure out like, oh, we could try and make this over.
Yes.
We can get over this hurdle. And we can push on with that story.
If player characters have that mentality,
Mm-hmm.
the opportunity will present itself. Right? If they have that mentality of this is not insurmountable, there is a way around it, and if they keep plugging at it, a door will. The DM at some point is going to like, oh yeah, that's actually a good idea. 9 times out of 10, the player characters are going to surprise the DM, and the DM's like, oh, I didn't even think of that.
Yeah. You guys have done it to me multiple times now. Especially like with that whole thing with the King of Sunblight.
Yeah.
When you guys like...
Yeah.
I mean, you guys... honestly, I mean, I knew there was going to be some tomfuckery going on.
Right.
And everything like that, but like... the way that you guys handle that situation and how you guys... with his son, with him and everything like that, with the rival...
Right.
Clan
Yes.
of Duergar and everything like that. You guys handled that all so much different than I thought you were going to, and it surprised the shit out of me. It really did.
Yes.
It was great, and I even read with it because it was just that was good.
Yep.
And it's just so like most of the time, if the characters do surprise the DM, a lot of the time the DM is going to run with it.
Yeah, so to follow up on that point, I remember this scenario. We were put in a position where the hill to get over was you were putting before us this concept that we needed to work with this guy and do what he wanted.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't want to. We just didn't want to. But we were put in a position where at first we didn't think we had a choice until we ran into the other group. And that's when the door opened, at least for me. I said, screw this guy. I don't want to work for this guy, and I don't want to work for them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to let them go by. They're going to take care of themselves. The math will start to work. And eventually they're going to get closer to 0. And when they get close to 0, then we're going to spring back into action and round it out or finish it off to 0.
Yeah. So,
yeah, absolutely. That I think that's a perfect example as to it wasn't earned. Nothing was insurmountable. It was more of a preference. We didn't want to do it. At the time, it didn't seem like there was an option. But to be honest with you, the whole time, my brain's clicking. It's working. I'm like, how do we get out of this?
Mm-hmm.
How do we get out of this?
I mean, even if you guys have to walk away from something that you don't want to do,
yeah,
and like you said, like come back later and just change it. Like as a DM, for me, I'm quite okay with that. If there's something that you guys do not want to do, go ahead, walk away, find something else.
Right.
But just know in the back of your head that there's still a problem there, and you should probably take that time to figure out what you want to do with it.
Right. Yeah, you still got to solve the problem.
Yeah.
Right. I think that has to be worded very carefully. If it's something that and I have to make a difference. I have to draw a line here between player and the character. If the players are not having a good time, right? It's time to hit the pause button. It's time to stop the recording. It's time to put the character sheets and all that stuff aside and really just kind of hash out what the issue is from a player standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm perfectly okay with that, because if somebody is not having fun, it defeats the purpose of this whole freaking thing, right?
Exactly.
Once you get in, again, there's no problem that's insurmountable. You figure it out. You come to a consensus, a decision together as a group. You hit the record button and you move forward based off of the feedback that everybody got.
Mm-hmm.
From a character standpoint, right? As long as the player and the DM understand that So I'll give you an example is in the Descent to Avernus campaign. I had an NPC who was a part of the group, right? And he was really not happy with the situation.
Right.
But that was from a role-playing standpoint. That wasn't from the player saying, this sucks. This was a character who may or may not have really fit for this type of scenario. It created a little bit of drama. It created a little bit of comedy. And that was intentional. And that's the difference. I think as long as everybody understands that you can have a character who's like, I don't think this is a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't think we should be doing it. And the other player characters or other characters are basically going, you need to man up. This is going to happen.
Oh, I remember.
Right? I think that was great from a story standpoint. That wasn't from a player standpoint going, this sucks.
Yeah.
Right? There's a difference, and I think you need to know that difference.
Yeah. So for the viewers that don't know about the Avernus campaign, his character did whine a lot and was always scared to do things.
Yes.
My character was, and I tell you guys all this, and I absolutely play a hell of a lot of dwarves.
Yeah, you do. Jeez.
Clerics.
Yes.
Barbarians.
Yes. Another cleric.
Another cleric.
And another
another barbarian. I have played a rogue once. I had
halfling rogue.
The halfling rogue.
Yep.
Yeah, because and one of the barbarians was a half orc.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
half orc too.
But I think, there's only been one dwarf that has not been a cleric.
Yep,
and that's Thoradin, which is the character that I played in that Descent into Avernus. But Thoradin would oftentimes tease him, push him,
right,
punch him.
Yeah, you punched him a couple times.
Yeah, more than a couple.
Yeah,
because every time he complained, he'd either get socked or be told to man up.
Yep.
Like, we're here to do work.
That's right.
You're not fucking that up for us.
That's right.
You either help us or get the hell out of the way.
He wanted to get the hell out of the way.
He wanted to get the hell. Yeah, but that's. Yeah, I guess Thoradin didn't ever let him do that.
Yeah, no.
Because he was the healer of the group, wasn't he?
My character?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was
a bard.
He was a bard. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wasn't like the epitome of healer.
Yeah, but he still dished it out every now and then.
Yep. Killed a couple people with vicious mockery too.
Oh my god, that was
hilarious. Your mama.
Your mama's so fat.
So silly.
That was so good. So to another point, I guess we'll go with this one. If you lived in Forgotten Realms, where would you be?
That is a pretty good question. So I've given this some thought.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I got to remember. I'm looking at the map to remember.
Oh yeah, I'm looking at it too.
I believe it was Silvery Moon.
Silvery Moon? That's actually, that's not bad actually.
And here's why.
Because Lady Illustrial? Come on, hot female elf?
I didn't base my decision on that.
Off of a hot female elf?
It's a perk, but it's not how I based my decision. It is... it's civilization.
Yep.
It's a city. It's a beautiful place. It's magical. It is still kind of off the beaten path. It's in the Savage Frontier.
Mm-hmm.
It is from my standpoint, I think it's a good home base.
Right.
It's also near the spine of the mountain, which means it's also near Mithril Hall. And I think if I were to live there are places I would definitely want to go visit and see if allowed. And that would be one of them.
Yeah, I think it's a 10-day or so from Mithril Hall.
I believe you are correct.
Yeah.
I just think because of the high level of magic, because of where it's located, and you walk out the front door of the city and your cheese is in the wind.
Yep.
You're right in there. You're dealing with what is it?
Yeah, you're dealing with orcs.
You're dealing with the barbarians.
Definitely, what is it? The
Uthgardt barbarians.
Uthgardt barbarians. You're dealing with Black Arrow.
The many arrow.
Yeah, the many arrow.
Yep, the many arrow
you're dealing
orcs.
with the orcs. Yeah,
and then ad nauseum of
you're dealing with
giants.
Verbeeg. Definitely Verbeeg.
Yep, occasional dragon.
Oh yeah,
Uthgardt barbarians. So yeah, I mean, you're kind of. The easy. Originally the easy answer was like Waterdeep, but it's so far away from a lot of. It's cool. Waterdeep's cool.
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's got Undermountain. It's got Skullport.
Yeah.
There's politics involved with the guilds, etc., etc. But it doesn't have the kind of mystique that Silvery Moon does. What about you? What do you think? If you don't say Mithril Hall, I'm going to be disappointed. And I don't know you at all.
Well, honestly, there's two. One of them is definitely Mithril Hall.
All right.
It definitely is. Actually, I should probably say there's three. But the thing is I don't know what becomes of the third one. But the other one, of course, would be Citadel Adbar.
What's the difference? Why?
Granted, they're both dwarven
strongholds.
But the thing, I guess there isn't much of a difference.
Yeah, there's not much of a difference there, buddy.
I don't know. I'm sticking with the dwarves, okay?
I'm totally biased.
Well, fuck. The third one's actually kind of a dwarven hall too.
Son of a.
Yeah. But you know what? For the sake of it all, I'll cast those ones. I'll push those over to the side. But the main one would be Mithril Hall.
I was going to say, did I peer pressure you into changing your mind?
Well, it's not that I didn't realize, but I knew that they were all dwarven halls. I wouldn't pick Waterdeep because City of Splendors, blah blah blah. It seems like that would be a place for everybody to go, but that's just cheap shit.
Wow, all right.
It really is. It's just like it seems like that would be like the easy place.
Yeah, it's the easy place. Exactly.
It is. You're an adventurer and everything like that. Yeah, you got plenty of people that you can talk to, get your, quests and everything from and all that stuff.
Yep.
But the thing, it's just like it's too easy. Being an adventurer is about having the struggle.
Yeah.
You get those difficult missions and everything like that.
Sure.
I just feel like Waterdeep, you do have those difficult missions, but I think they're kind of cheesy. Because
I to play off of that, since we're poo-pooing on Waterdeep, which is, don't take this the wrong way, but Waterdeep's a great place. There's a reason why it's called the City of Splendors. Based off of what I've read online and some of these other social media groups, and I agree, the joke is, the meme is, that this, here on the map, is the Savage Frontier, which includes the Sword Coast, which includes Waterdeep.
Right.
Everything else is known as Forgotten Realms.
Right.
That's the joke.
Yeah.
Because it's from a Wizards of the Coast standpoint, there's very little else going on in 5th edition.
Yeah.
And I think that's the problem with Waterdeep. It is because you've got, and I'm guilty from a DM standpoint, right? We did it in Dragon Heist. We've done it in After the Tomb of Annihilation. You weren't a part of it, but there was going through there in Storm King's Thunder. You went through there in the Rise of
Tiamat.
Right? So it's a great, wonderful, magical place.
Right.
But from your standpoint, and understandably, it has lost its luster when there's this huge, massive world left to explore.
Yeah, if I'm getting to your point, is because most of the campaigns are there.
Right there in the Savage Frontier.
Literally,
and the Sword Coast.
With
the exception of
your
Cholt.
hand is literally,
Yes.
Cholt, Icewind Dale.
Yes. Well, even Icewind Dale falls into the Savage Frontier.
Right.
Yes.
I guess it's true, yeah.
The Savage Frontier basically runs from Waterdeep to the Anarok Desert.
Yep.
It runs from Icewind Dale down to Baldur's Gate. That's the Savage Frontier and the Sword Coast.
Right.
Right? That's it. That and Cholt. Cholt also is included in there, right?
Right.
As far as what's been played in campaigns. Now, I've tried in the Salt Marsh campaign,
Right.
where, and technically the Salt Marsh campaign is not a Forgotten Realms campaign.
No.
It's a Greyhawk campaign.
Mm-hmm.
I pulled it into Forgotten Realms, and I ran it in Jacinta.
Yeah.
I did that intentionally to get away from the Sword Coast.
Yeah, right.
I thought it worked very well. Being able to pull in, because Chazar is part of that lore of Jacinta, and pulling him into that campaign I thought was great.
Yeah.
Would love to do more of that.
Like you said earlier, just fucking taking the top off of that freaking mountain and just blowing fire into it.
Right.
That was one of those amazing moments in our campaigns where I was just like,
Oh, shit.
I can't fuck with this guy. Like, if I don't fucking bend a knee to him, he's gonna freaking eat my lunch.
Yep.
You know? I mean, they don't call him, they worship him as a god.
They worship him as a god, yes.
You know, and you said he was also one of Tiamat's
consorts.
Yeah. I mean, you don't get that way, if you're not a badass.
Yeah, she had several consorts, and he actually killed the others. And then took on their aspects.
Oh my god.
Now, Tiamat could still smack him around, but he out of the red dragons in that part of the point being is he's a fucking badass.
Yeah.
He has also died and returned to life.
Oh yeah. Shit.
So
back to what I was saying, like I think one of the great things about Waterdeep is because of Undermountain.
yes,
That would be pretty fun.
would be yes,
Deadly as hell,
yes,
but still fun.
yep,
You go to the Yawning Portal,
yes.
you go place a bet, everything like that. You go down there.
You bet on your own success, your own life,
your own Deadpool.
yes, your own
And everything
Deadpool.
like that. That would be fun. I wouldn't choose Baldur's Gate because, let's be honest, Flaming Fist, I think I'd
is awesome.
go around sucker punching people. All right.
For the Flaming Fist.
Old lady, for the Flaming Fist.
For the Flaming Fist. I'm just a little old lady trying to cross the street. For the Flaming Fist.
Oh my god.
I think Baldur's Gate is awesome.
I wouldn't be able to do that one either. I can't do Kalimport because
Yeah.
that's almost the same as Baldur's Gate without the Flaming Fist. And not only that, you have a bunch of pashas
Yes.
that rule over different portions. Yeah, that would just be too hectic. Yeah, I'd have to get away from the Sword Coast as well. But the thing is I don't know a whole lot about it, out there.
Yeah. And that's the problem.
Exactly.
That's the problem.
Like, I want to see what the hell is up in that corner, up in the top right there. Like, I'd love to fucking see what was up there.
The Endless Waste?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could tell you.
And then straight down south, right in the middle, where that whole... Keep on going down, 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 to your left. There.
Oh, Halrua.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Halrua
I'd like to see what was going on down there.
Very interesting place. Not a lot of information down there, but the little bit I know, it's very interesting.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, I would have to... I'm just going to stick with Mithril Hall. My third one was going to... I don't know what the hell is going to happen to it or anything like that. If it's not already in the lure. But it would have to be... oh my god, here we go. Drawing blanks. Because it's in the whole...
I'm holding up a doll. Where did he touch you?
No square.
He touched you in the no square.
Hey, don't touch me there.
That's bad touch, Nick. Bad touch.
Well, I'm sorry. Well, I'm not. Wait.
What?
I don't know. So, from my understanding, it was near Neverwinter.
Okay.
Okay? It's another dwarven settlement, but it's an ancient dwarven settlement.
Yeah. Okay.
God, it was just right there. It's like on the tip of my bloody tongue.
I know the pain so well.
Fudge him. Because there's a gigantic primordial. It's literally in a volcano. And what has happened with it is that, and it has something to do with Hose Tower. So underneath the Hose Tower are these veins.
Yes.
And it's like with all this magical arcane power.
The Hose Tower in Luskin.
Yes.
Yes.
And it feeds power to water primordials that keep the fire primordial in check. With it, it keeps them imprisoned in this Gauntlgrim.
Oh, okay, yeah, Gauntlgrim. Sure,
Yes.
I know what you're talking about.
Okay.
Yes.
So through what the dwarves have done, and dwarves didn't just do this by themselves. They also had help from like wizards, elves, all the sorts of the magical type.
Yes.
Before, I'm pretty sure this is before like dwarves were just starting to fucking really hate on magic.
Okay. Yes.
I think.
Yeah. Well,
Correct me if I'm wrong. But it's just like through that fire primordial, they were able to create these magnificent pieces of like armor and weaponry.
yeah, they used it for their forge.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it's just like, I think, if it were like rebuilt to its like glory and everything like that, I think that would just be amazing place. But unfortunately, it gets overrun by drow.
So one of the campaigns we ran before you came on board was that Storm King's Thunder.
Right.
And one of the things that happens in that campaign that we didn't really flush out, that's another story as to why, is that the drow had not only got into Gauntlgrim, but they were able to steal that primordial.
Oh, yeah.
They had some kind of special magic item that was given to them. They didn't act alone. I don't remember who was involved in that behind the scenes of it wasn't that they just took it. The drow took it and they were going to take it to somebody. That wasn't me, by the way.
That was me.
That was your frog.
That frog.
But
he didn't like the alcohol. I'm trying to kill it.
That's one of those things, those little things that stick in the back of my brain going, that could be a one-shot.
It could be.
On both sides. You could do a one-shot where you're the drow. A team of drow. And you have stolen it. Or a one-shot of going through the process of stealing it. Or a group of player characters who are going to go after them.
And try and retrieve it, yeah.
Like a gang of dwarves. Just an all-dwarven team.
That would be pretty amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have them sent from Mithrahall. Because, it would all have to deal with King Bruenor.
Yep.
And, so when it comes to the drow side, it would have to be... what's that matron mother?
Bjorn?
Huh?
Bjorn?
Huh?
The matron mother? A drow?
You're sort of on the right track with the name.
Braene, something like that?
No, well, it's Jarlaxle's family. You don't know that one either?
No, I think it's Braerne.
No, it's not that.
Well,
some people might call it, pronounce it differently, but I only know it as one way, and that's the only way I'm going to take it.
All right, well, then you pronounce it for me.
Son of a bitch.
Exactly. Exactly. A whole lot of this. Whole lot of this. And
Just stop it. You're scrambling my brain.
Yeah, it's intentional, by the way.
Oh, you son of a bitch.
Jackass.
Banneries.
Oh, that's saying the same thing.
No, it's not.
Banneries.
Yeah. What the hell? That's honestly, that's... No. Bannery.
That's what I said.
No, you didn't.
I did.
No, you didn't.
So did.
Did not.
You're
going to go back through this, and you're going to be like, oh, you're right, I didn't say that.
No. I'm going to go back through it, and I'm going to edit it to make sure it's exactly what I said.
Yeah, huh? Yeah. Yeah, banneries. No.
That's what I said.
Oh, my God. You know what? I'm going to edit this.
Oh.
I'm going to do it, because this is biased bullshit.
Knock yourself silly.
God dang it.
Throw down that gauntlet. I'll pick it up.
I ain't going to throw it down. I'm going to slap you with it.
Slap me with that gauntlet. Get at this if you want.
Don't ask me what her first name is. I just know it was one of the banneries, and it was... And let's face fact, like, that whole... at this point, I'm pretty sure people should know how I feel about drow, minus a certain hero character.
Dritz.
Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
But... the whole matriarchy of drow, the way that they live, Granted, I know it's all because of a demon bitch, Spider Queen.
Yeah,
Loth.
She's not just a demon; she's also a goddess.
Yeah.
She's kind of both. Like she's like a demon princess and a goddess.
But still, I mean, she's the whole reason why it's always so jacked up down there. I mean, that race could be. I mean, they were. You know, they were different before Loth came. I mean, granted, you still had a female leader.
Yeah, matron.
And everything like that. Yeah, matron, mother.
Yep.
And everything like that. But, you know, it's just like they didn't downgrade, or they didn't degrade the warrior class of male. You know, and it's like the I don't know what god they actually worshipped before Loth, though.
That particular, the Drow?
Yeah.
I would imagine they worshipped the whole pantheon of elves.
Oh, the whole pantheon of elves.
That would be my guess.
Yeah.
With a obvious bent towards Loth.
Yeah, because when Loth came, it was just all of a sudden now, like, the priestesses of Loth, like, held, like, extreme high stature, like, right under the matron mother. And then you had your wizard class.
Yeah.
But the wizard class was mostly males.
Yes.
And everything like that. And then you had your warrior class.
Yep. Also mostly males, right?
Yeah.
Mostly.
And you wouldn't really find you wouldn't even find a whole lot of females in the warrior class. No, I don't even think you would find any.
Well, so I believe that the goal for them to maintain their power structure would be for a female to be a cleric.
Yep.
Though I don't think it would be too far base off to find a female who I've never seen this before, but I think it would be really cool to hammer out. Female paladin of Loth.
Ooh. Well,
yeah, because it's like they're still part of the matriarchy.
Yeah.
Right. They're still getting their power from Loth, but now they've got an even more slight bent towards combat.
Yeah, I only remember one female drow that was actually, it could be considered warrior class, and it was only because she wasn't raised in Menzoberranzan.
Right.
Her mother was a wood elf.
Oh.
And everything. Of course, the father, drow.
Ooh.
But he wielded Kazitea,
Okay.
the cutter.
Okay.
And everything like that. And he trained her in the way of swordsmanship versus, how she would become a cleric, and all that stuff. So I think she would be the only female warrior that I have ever heard of.
In the lore.
In the lore of any drow.
Right.
Yeah, she would be the only one.
Well, you're really going to love this campaign that I got on order. Made by a company called AAW Games. And so it's a third party. It's not Wizards of the Coast. And it's called Rise of the Drow. I even got the collector's edition.
Let me guess, it's going to come with like some figurine.
I don't know. Good question.
Oh.
Maybe some
You're not going to tell me because you're going to like...
It's going to be awesome.
Good God.
Yeah, good times.
Let me get... Do you play as a drow or can you just play as a regular character?
It's going to be a surprise.
Oh, you son of a...
I know.
This is why you're not my favorite.
I know. It's something I work on all the time.
God dang it, man. All right, moving on.
So with that, with the understanding that we're both running campaigns currently, which will eventually end.
True.
And talking about this other campaign by AAW, and no, they're not paying me to say anything.
No.
What campaign are you eager to run? And what campaign are you eager to play in? Knowing the list that we have before us.
Knowing the list that we have before us.
Yes.
So I will give you two options as a DM.
Yes.
And as a player character.
Yep.
The one big one that I want to do right now, of course, is I want to collaborate with you on Candlekeep.
Yes, absolutely.
That is definitely a big one. I want to take that on, that challenge of you running one and then me running the next mission, and then so on and so forth.
Yep. I agree.
Another one is I would love to I would love to see where if the characters of Icewind Dale actually, save Icewind Dale and defeat the Frost Maiden and everything and set things right. I love to see, and of course further on, I'd like to see where they would want to go.
Right.
Like your campaign after a tomb. I would love to, it's a huge world. Granted, I'd love to see them not just go to fucking Waterdeep. But I want to, and it's just like, I want to see how far I can take my creativity.
Yes.
And everything like that.
And do some homebrew stuff after the game. Yeah.
Maybe you guys go and ravage around in the spine of the world. Maybe you guys go a little bit further down south because you're curious. Because, as far as I'm concerned, the only one that... There's 2 people in your group that are not from Icewind Dale.
True.
That's Hegan's character, Birion.
Yep.
And then, of course, my NPC, Roland. Those 2, I believe, are from the south. Regardless of what Hegan would say, because I know he might say that he's from there because, Rome says he's from there.
It's okay.
But yeah, those are the 2 that I would love to DM.
Yep.
Candlekeep more than, of course, Icewind Dale, because Candlekeep, I've heard so much stuff about it, and I've read a little bit of lore, and I've liked what I've read.
Yep.
It's just like it's a treasure trove of just information, magic. It's a definitely good place, even though that map doesn't do it any justice.
Yeah, no, that map of Candlekeep that they came with the book.
Yeah.
I apologize, but it sucks. It is just the suck. It is the suck. Sorry. I'm not sorry. It's so plain Jane.
It is. I thought there was supposed to be like more spires. I thought there was, supposed to be more to it and everything like that. But then
every tower was built separately.
Yep.
Each tower was supposed to have its own different story behind it. Who built it? Why they built it?
Mm-hmm.
So it would have... The architecture was supposed to just be extreme. Of one difference to another. And this doesn't have any of that.
No, it does not.
So...
Let's see, as a player character, and I know we already talked about this off recording here, but I want to see a part 2 to Descent into Avernus.
Yeah.
For those that do not know, and of course, unfortunately, we didn't do a podcast on this particular campaign.
And podcasting started after that.
Yeah.
Campaign. Yeah.
Great campaign. Pat did an amazing job.
Thank you.
He even went and bought
a war machine.
Yep. And it's just all around. It was a great story. And this is where I know it. Surprise! I played a dwarf. My barbarian.
Oh my god.
Thoradin.
Yes.
And everything like that, alongside with his human friend, who was Jerome's character.
Yep.
Who actually put him down kind of like a Spaniard.
Yep.
Did an amazing voice for it and everything like that. Just all around, his character was awesome. Let's see, what was Hegan's character?
Wow, I feel bad.
Yeah, well, I mean, I understand that he wasn't. I don't think he was around very much for it.
Yeah, he missed a lot of the game.
He did.
Ranger?
Maybe? I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Sorry, Hegan. Yeah,
it's really
bad. Sorry. Stand out more. I'm just joking. Wow. Yeah, and just the end of it and everything like that. And this is one of those things where granted, it is the DM's duty to like surprise his player characters, but this one like really, and you could mark this down as one of my favorite moments, even though I kind of Blue Falconed Jerome's character a little bit on this, because I mean, if this were to happen to his character, it would have been even greater. But at the end, you know, it's Pat, our DM, made, or was that actually in the campaign?
It was in the campaign.
Oh, okay. So, well, I mean, you still did it.
Yep.
But
I
turned
did
my
do it.
dwarf into a celestial dwarf.
Yes, like an angel.
Wings and fucking everything.
Yeah, epic.
I even went went to Hero Forge and customized a character. Yeah, and purchased
a miniature
with wings.
A dwarf with wings.
Yep.
Yep.
And just I tried to bring out the appearance of Thoradin, but by God, that was a fun campaign.
Yeah.
Pat did an amazing job with all of his NPCs and just the story all around. I mean, how often do you get to go
To the
and
first,
play around in hell?
the first level of hell.
The first level of hell.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't ask me to go any lower. I've done reading on it, and it ain't pretty.
The first level of hell ain't pretty.
Well, you know what inspired that is when I looked into and when we were playing Dark Alliance
Yeah, sure.
and everything. When you were wondering what those they were the undead barbarians.
Yeah.
They were Uthgar,
Yeah.
but they came from the 5th layer
Yes.
of hell because of things that they've done.
Was it Stygia? Is that the 5th level of hell?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, they were Stygian barbarians or something like that. Stygia barbarians.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and that piqued my curiosity to read. And of course, it went from, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
Don't ask me if I remember it all. But from what I got from it, it's just like, damn. Because, I mean, each layer and the lord of each layer
Yes.
is holy shit. And then, of course, you get to the big guy himself, Asmodeus.
Right.
And you're just like, what the?
Yeah, the lore on Asmodeus is
Incredible.
it's insane.
It is.
It's nuts.
Yeah, but just throughout that entire campaign, we had so much fun. I loved controlling that freaking war machine and everything. And then, of course, like, different spots. And then also, like, I went and read stuff on... what is it? They put the other people's PC characters. I forget his name, but he had that hand. It was up in that top where he like one of them was Tortle.
Oh, yeah.
You get it now?
Yeah, you're talking about damn it. Not Matt Mercer. Son of a I know exactly who you're talking about. His character's name was Arcane the Cruel.
Yes.
Yes, and he was a dragonborn,
Yes.
and he was a follower of Tiamat.
Yes.
Correct.
And he had that hand.
He did have this kind of weird hand. Yeah,
I forget what it was.
I don't. I know exactly.
It's pretty damn crazy.
Yep, it is pretty darn crazy.
But like, I thought that was cool that they put that was in the campaign, right?
Yes, it's in the book.
Just and just to have that in there and like adds to that story.
That was Joe Manganiello's. I'm probably
Butchering his name.
butchering his last name, but Joe Manganiello. That was his character.
Yeah.
And then he worked with Wizards of the Coast
To bring him into that.
to kind of build the campaign, but then he brought in his
own character.
his own character, who also has ties to Critical Role, Matt Mercer's campaign, which is how he ended up with that hand.
Yeah.
It's nuts. The whole thing's crazy. That whole scenario really I wasn't sure how that was going to play out.
Right.
right? I wasn't sure if there was going to be combat, and I was like, out of all the combats, that was probably going to be the toughest one on you guys. It was going to be brutal.
Yeah. Well, luckily we handled it.
Yep, you guys handled it very well.
Got the information or whatever we needed. Forget what we needed from there.
You made a deal with him. You needed a vial of blood.
It was
that he was wearing. It was like no. Well, you guys had an orb of dragonkind.
Yes.
And you were trying to make a trade.
Yes.
Yes.
We needed the... Was it the blood of that, Why do I keep on thinking Olympian?
Well, he was kind of... He was a giant... He was like a titan.
Yeah.
Yes. Who was transformed into some kind of devil by Tiamat after trying to face her in combat and lost pitifully.
Yeah.
And so he was going to give you information if you could help him transform back. And to do that, he needed something that Arcane the Cruel had, but Arcane wasn't just going to do it for free, so you did a trade for...
The Dragon Orb.
The Dragon Orb and one other thing.
Well, it wasn't my firstborn.
No, it was like a pure soul, a pure being, pure...
Oh, yeah.
So there was that whole debate whether...
Oh, yeah, that's when we killed the elephant.
Right.
Well, she kind of sacrificed herself.
Not an elephant, a holophant.
A holophant.
Yes. She sacrificed herself, supposedly.
Because we were thinking about doing it to that flipping unicorn.
That was trapped. Yes.
But she offered and everything like that. We didn't force her into it.
Correct.
We actually felt... I know me and Jerome definitely felt bad about that. Because she helped us out so much.
Yep.
Oh my god. Yeah. Sacrificed the Holophant, who was good god. Stop already. Think.
What, her name?
Yeah. No, I know it's... Oh shit, no I don't.
Me neither. I'm so horrible.
Oh, it starts in an L, doesn't it? It's not Lilo. Good God, this is why I would like Rome to be here, because it's his
memory is
memories.
so much better than ours.
Oh my God, dude can remember a movie from freaking 1970s. Yeah. Can't. Lulu. Jesus.
There you go. You got it.
For some, so an actress popped into my head, and that's what made me remember.
Well, to kind of piggyback off you, I'm in the same boat. I'm really looking forward to tag teaming Candlekeep with you.
Oh yeah.
Not only from a DM perspective, but from a player character perspective.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's an opportunity to, if we can convince the others, Jerome and Hegan, to do something kind of unique as far as player creation is. Because I see a team of scholars,
Right.
Making up the core of the group. Maybe one of us is going to be brutish. That potential is there, but
It ain't gonna be me this time, bud.
there you go.
I already have a character in mind.
Awesome. As far as campaigns that we've already done, I also agree with you. Descent into Avernus was the funnest. We've had a lot of fun. They're not a knock on any of the other campaigns. You work them, you massage them. I think there was only one exception to that, and that had nothing to do with the campaign. There's my frog right there. Where we ran into some problems, and we've put that campaign kind of in a hiatus, a hold pattern, until we can work through some stuff and figure some stuff out. And at some point, we may hit the reset button.
Oh, I take it that's Saltmarsh?
Okay, 2 campaigns.
Oh, wow. What's the other one?
Mad Mage.
Oh.
Undermountain. We never finished it.
Yeah, we never did.
We're about halfway. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's definitely... I mean, you don't have to convince me You probably don't have to convince Jerome either.
No, I've talked to Jerome about it.
Yeah.
And I told him that I have some ideas for a path out of the area. This where we're stuck.
Yeah.
There's a path out, and part of the issue is that, and I understand that Jerome and Hegan aren't really feeling their characters, so they kind of want to reset. You, on the other hand, I think you really enjoy your character.
I do, but the thing is like and I told you this. I fucked up with him. You created a story for me, and this is my fault because I didn't voice my opinion.
Yeah.
And I screwed it for myself.
Yeah.
So from what I said in the beginning of the podcast and everything like that about voicing your opinion,
Yes.
you fucking need to do it.
Absolutely. Voice that opinion.
If you have a story and your DM has created it for you and is literally trying to push you to, not trying to push you to it, but trying to get it to where you can have fun, you fucking take it.
I was basically just taking your backstory and building on it.
Exactly.
And, and then opening the door
That's
for
the thing, though.
and avenues for you to
Have fun.
and investigate.
Yeah.
Yes, that I agree.
Granted, I wouldn't want to mess with, like I said, I don't want to mess around with that charred whatever.
The demon.
Cool. Screw that guy. But yeah, yeah, I'm okay with that rogue. You know, I mean, if you wouldn't mind, I would actually like to change a few things.
No, I wouldn't mind at all. Why would I? Well, unless you're like, I want to give him lasers and a photon cannon. Then yeah, of course.
Well, then I would go to Artificer.
Fair enough.
I'm not going to mid-max my rogue to do that, even though, like, sneak damage with, a blast cannon right to the back of their head. That would actually be... No, I'm not going to make it. I wanted to change them up just a little bit. To be honest, I don't even know if I even have that character sheet anymore.
Yeah.
I know I redid it, so it should be in there.
There you go.
Maybe.
Even if you don't, you could still redo it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just something, that's just not your... I mean, granted, I had fun, like, hey, rolling stealth. Hey, I'm hiding behind here. Hey, look. Sneak attack damage. Oh, look. Flanking damage. I was always hiding behind a certain character's legs.
Yes, and yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that would work anymore.
Fair enough. You know what makes it really hard, though? As far as, like, choices. And we talk about some of these previous campaigns we've done and moving on and finishing them and going back and doing parts 2s and see where things going. And this is not a bad thing. In our pipe, coming down the pipe, so many more campaigns. And not new campaigns. Like, we got 2 from Kobold Press.
Yep.
Right? The one I talked about earlier. Won't keep mentioning that name. Am I drunk?
That Ghoul one or whatever?
Yes, that's one of the Kobold Press ones. That's like
God
Ghoul Empire or something like that.
Yeah.
And then the Scarlet Citadel's coming out. Should be coming out here anytime. I already got the PDF. I'm just waiting for the physical copy to be sent out.
Yep. Of course, Candlekeep. And then whatever we decide. I mean, granted, that's more homebrewing for you, but there's Avernus, there's Storm King's Thunder.
So the Descent in Avernus, I've already started working on.
Nice.
What that looks like. That one's easier.
Yeah.
It's even easier than...
Don't tell me we're going down.
I don't know anything. I'm just the DM.
You suck.
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just the DM.
Whatever. I'm a Celestial now.
So?
Who's spending 2 years?
Spending 2 years
servitude.
of servitude. Yeah.
Good. On the bell of the ball.
Good times. You're a highly sought after commodity.
Oh, I imagine they probably put me in a cage. Made me do tricks for treats.
Oh, that's the other one. The Out of the Abyss campaign. We haven't done.
Oh,
I knew there was another one.
Oh, yeah, no, I just thought of another one, but you weren't going to be the one to doing that. That was your kid.
Oh yeah, Casey was going to do
Strahd.
the Strahd. Yeah. Sounds like you get to pick that one up. That's on you, buddy.
Fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about that shit because that's Ravenloft.
Yeah. What's there to know? it's all in the book.
Which one? Oh, you mean the campaign? Yeah.
Yeah. What's there to know?
Well, I kind of like to have knowledge because I don't know anything about Ravenloft.
I can tell you everything you need to know.
Oh, I bet you could.
I can.
Uh-huh.
It's easy.
Another horror campaign. That probably. I don't know. I think if I were to do it and everything like that, I would have to make it extra hoary.
Yeah. Knock yourself silly. It's meant to be.
Yeah. More blood and guts.
Sure.
Maybe you'll find somebody hanging by their intestines. I don't know.
Whatever floats your boat, buddy.
You know. Maybe I'll wear a costume. I don't know.
With some fangs.
Some fangs.
Paint a little widow's peak there on your forehead. Before we wrap it up, what's one last question you got for us? I'm gonna let you throw the last question here.
Let's see.
Make it a good one.
You know what? I'm actually kind of curious.
Yep.
If you had a $10,000 budget to spend on this project, what would you spend it on?
Holy crap. I think I would look into a better sound system.
Mm-hmm.
I would look into how to do this video direct, right? Rather than just podcast.
So you can see all our ugly mugs?
Yeah, that's a good point. Definitely have a face for radio. Still, it's not so much... One of the interesting things in this whole podcast deal is learning how to do it, right? Honest truth, starting out, just trying to get the fucking sound quality at some kind of intermediate level was a knockdown, drag out fist fight between me and the hardware and the software. It's brutal, right?
Just see you stand over there.
Come on. But that, frustrations aside, learned a ton.
Yeah.
Putting it up, posting a podcast and putting it on all these different applications. What a learning experience, right?
Right.
Sitting down with Casey and helping her with her t-shirt business, which will then lead to eventually our merchandise. Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So to get better audio equipment, better soundboard, and to video, with one additional caveat: with $10,000, I would hire somebody to do all the freaking editing. I'd pay money and say, here's the product. Turn this into, spin this into some gold, right? Because I think I've gotten to a point where I'm comfortable, but I'm nowhere near competent, right? Somebody who really knows what the hell they're doing could probably do a much better job. And I'm okay with that.
No, wait, no.
I would be willing to pay for that.
Yeah. I had to do some of my editing. Oh my God. As well.
Right.
And everything like that. But not near to how much you have done.
Right.
Because, lazy.
I understand.
But, yeah, no, you've done a terrific job with it so far.
Thank you. It's been a lot of work, but I'm not complaining about it because it has been interesting. It's been a learning experience and has kept me engaged.
Yeah. But again, if there's any help that you need with, ask.
All right.
Guy.
Yeah, I hear you. If you had a $10,000 budget.
Oh, shit. Better table.
Oh, fuck. Right?
I'd have it to where, you have your whole game set up, but the thing is you got that TV in the center, so you could just upload your maps, you don't have to set everything on top of it you have these trays,
Right.
and everything that come out, and you can settle your stuff there. You know, so you keep the top all clear.
Yep.
Stuff like that. You know, that's a big one, and I mean that's probably most of the money right there. But a lot of it would be like sound equipment, video. I mean, I don't mind showing my face, but you know,
Fair enough.
because it might take away. Maybe I'll just wear a mask. You know,
Do what Casey did last week.
Well, she only wore a mustache.
Yeah, that's a big deal for her because it was a huge mustache.
Took up most of her upper lip.
It covered her bottom lip too.
I mean, you know, it's just like, even when I did like a little bit of streaming and stuff like that, I didn't show my face. I think it's because, you know, it's like, it's not that shyness or anything like that. It's just the fact that, you know, it's just like, I feel like it takes away.
All right, I'm not arguing with you. I get it. I'm in the same boat. How about this? Here's the change. Animation. And I'm not talking, and I'm not even talking good. I'm not talking top notch here.
I don't think I already know what the fuck.
Right?
Have you seen that shit before?
What? Where somebody takes their audio and animates it?
No. Oh, that's what you mean.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like putting up a screen. You know, it's just like where it shows. Oops, shit. Shows our table and everything like that, and what we do. But the thing is, and then you have it on the side here where you have like a bunch of like, I don't know, one of those like anime fucking like 3D looking like. Have you ever seen that crap before?
I'm smelling what you're stepping in. Yes. Yeah, we
terrible.
Could do that. Oh, I thought that was awesome. Because it gives okay.
Because you know what would happen with your kid, right?
Well,
She want to be a furry.
She is a furry. The character she's playing is a furry.
Holy shit!
The Ketsune is a furry. Let's not let's not polish that turd. It is what it is. My daughter is playing a furry. Alright?
Oh, man. What would you have is like Hegan?
So, in the Pantera home videos, and Jerome would remember this person's name, but he's basically the bodyguard for Pantera. And he would dress up kind of like the Incredible Hulk. He'd paint himself green, and he would run around smashing stuff up, and he would go, which is exactly where Hegan got the idea for his barbarian. That's the picture I would put up for him and his character.
Gotcha. What about yourself?
Well, Jerome, I'm thinking like an Antonio Banderas type of character.
Man.
Maybe even
straight out of 13th Warrior.
Well, no, I was thinking more like Zorro.
That fucking little mask.
Yep. Exactly.
Shit.
Yep. I don't know what I would do for myself. I don't know. I'd figure it out. Something.
I would have to literally find like a good picture for like Winstrom.
Oh, God. Boo. You suck.
I heard that.
You should appreciate me more.
Oh, you should.
Son of a bitch.
I said that.
Was there anything you wanted to add before we end this?
Oh, man. Let's see here. But one more question.
All right.
'Cause I should have done this one before the other one, but how do you think Merciless Gaming Media is doing so far, and what do you think we could do to make it better?
That is a difficult question because when we started this, I wasn't really sure what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
I had some goals, right? And I still do. Don't get me wrong. I still have goals.
Mm-hmm.
But initially, they're tiered. The goals are tiered, right? And the first thing is, can we get this up and running? Can we kick this off and get it started? And under that, there are a lot of sub goals. Like, what does that look like? Right? That's getting on Spotify and iTunes. That's getting on YouTube.
Yep.
Right? And a lot of those boxes are checked. There are still boxes to be checked, though. Right? You've seen my wall.
I have.
Right? I've got a wall. I've got a whiteboard, and on there are plenty of boxes. My problem, me, as Patrick, is I am not a patient person. It is not ingrained in me to be patient. I don't even believe in patience.
Don't I know it?
I truly believe that no one really has patience. All patience is just your ability to hide your impatience. Right? It's either that or you don't give a crap. Right? Because if you gave a crap, then you would want whatever it is that you're being impatient for. Right? So it's one or the other. Either you're really good at hiding your impatience or it's something you don't care about.
Right.
So if I care about something, I'm not a patient person. So, wanting to check those boxes off is something I think about every day. And some of those boxes, I know that I just need to chill my jets, take a deep breath, let things happen and roll forth naturally, and things should work out. But there's that little voice in the back of my head.
Doubt.
There's doubt, and there's like, why do you believe that? Why isn't there something that you couldn't be doing right now to move this along, right? So, that being said, let's push all that to the side for the moment. There's some interesting things that also doing a podcast that have come up that I never even thought of, like just never entered my brain. You and I were actually talking about this earlier today. Combat.
Yeah.
When you're just a bunch of friends sitting around the table and you enter combat, it's just the thing. But when you do a podcast and you're sitting down and you're editing it and you're listening and you're going, man, combat's the slowest part of the game. It is dead air. A lot of dead air. Now, I try to edit that out. It's one of the easiest things to edit out, by the way. Because when you're looking at all those squiggly lines,
right,
and all of a sudden there's just a straight line, you know where the dead air is. So it's easy to go in and just go clip and take it out. But there's a lot of it. The more combat, the more dead air. It's very strange. So from a podcasting standpoint, what it tells you is to keep things interesting. I think combat is still a fun and necessary part of the game. How do you get your characters to be more engaged from a role-playing standpoint? And one of the things you hear about online in these social media groups is, my player characters are just a bunch of murder hobos. Provide them, in my humble opinion, provide them more opportunity to not be.
Right.
And if things go well and they find out that it is as enjoyable, if not more, to not go around killing everything, they will stop doing that. That being said, killing stuff is awesome. Fighting a dragon in an epic battle
or two,
which was awesome.
Fucker.
Being the DM can be really awesome sometimes because you get to play two dragons at the same time. Who the fuck can beat that? You can't. What, beat two? Well, yeah. So you're gonna say, I'm gonna beat that with 3 dragons. How are you gonna beat that? How are you gonna beat being a DM where you get to play 2 dragons fighting in combat against your player characters?
Oh, I thought you meant beat the dragons. I was like, yeah, I mean, you threw 2 dragons at us while we were already beat up.
Yeah, no, I mean...
oh, no, we did beat...
You guys won.
We fought 3 dragons.
Yeah, but not all at the same time.
Not all at the same time.
But one and then two rights shortly thereafter. But that was on you. I gave you the opportunity not to have to do that. That was hilarious. You guys bit into that shit sandwich.
Oh,
Laughed all day. Awesome. Gave you the opportunity, and you guys
rest and everything.
Threw it in my face. We're not going to. Like, all right, we're going into the next encounter. There's 2 fucking dragons, and you didn't even know it was like one, and the other one was hiding, and it was awesome. So when I say you can't beat that,
yeah,
I'm not talking about literally beating it in combat. I mean, as level of fun, as a DM, you can't beat that.
No, you can't.
But that was, that was one of the interesting things I've learned, and that I'm trying to. It's now something that's always ingrained in my brain because of the editing. I'm always looking towards what we're recording now and what the impact is going to be on the editing.
Gotcha.
But not just from a strictly almost business-like sense or work sense, but I'm looking at it like, how do I create more opportunity for role-playing? And not because I'm trying to get out of editing, but because I just know now more than I now understand better than I did before.
Yeah.
So it goes really back to one of the first things I said in this particular podcast. It helps when player characters are engaged. The more engaged, the more role-playing. The more engaged, the less dead air.
Mm-hmm.
But
so
it's
like
on the DM to provide that.
Right. So like explaining like movement.
Yes.
And everything like that. Trying to keep it going.
Yes.
While trying to roll. So it's just like instead of trying to hit blah 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 roll. There's that hit. Instead, just be like, I am trying to, come up with a forward swing, see if it hits, roll, and then, explain if you hit, then, it's just like, yeah, I come across whatever armor or whatever if I hit flesh, blah, blah, blah.
It also picks up speed when the player characters are pre-planning what they're going to do when their turn comes up. Mm-hmm. And I get there's a fine line there. I can already hear the but, right? But I'm player A, or I'm player B, and player A is going before me, and I'm sitting here during their turn coming up with my plan. But player A does something that's going to ruin my plan, so I don't come up with a plan. That's the but, right?
Yeah, right.
My counter but to that would be my counter argument to that would be that does happen, I understand, but that doesn't happen every time.
No.
So I just think it behooves the players and the DM to be paying attention, and I do it even as the DM. I'm formulating. I'm watching what you guys are doing. It goes back to another comment you made earlier, tactics for the NPCs.
Mm-hmm.
And depending on how smart the monster is, and I'm not going to say I'm great at this. There are times where I walk away and I'm like, man, I should have done this or I should have done that. It happens more than I like to admit, especially specific to this, what we're talking about, which is combat and tactics. I have books on this stuff, for crying out loud. I'll show you a book after we're done talking.
Right.
It's specifically just to this topic. But I do. Even as a DM, I'm formulating what the plan is. Knowing full well that there's a good chance the player characters will foil my plan. That's okay. That's what's kind of supposed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Is the player characters are supposed to foil the plans of the bad guy. That's kind of what goes with the territory.
Right.
But if I don't do that, especially when we have, like in the blood elemental thing, there's 6 of them. If I don't have a plan, man, that's going to draw out combat brutally painful. So, anyway, that question back to you. How do you think Merciless Gaming Media is doing so far, and what do you think we can do to make it better? Knock that ball back in your court.
Well, that ball has hit the nail on the head. from my perspective, I need to do better as a player character. I need to roleplay more. I need to speak up more, everything like that. And I'm definitely going to practice on trying with combat, everything like that. Definitely, because that's a huge point. There is a lot of dead air and everything like that. I mean, we're all just sitting here. I mean, like, literally no more than 5 words coming out of our damn mouths.
Right.
While we're doing this.
Yep.
You know.
The only time I think we really get creative with the combat,
yeah,
is when the DM says make it merciless. But there's no reason why we can't be creative with the combat as a whole.
Right. Yeah, no. Because I think that bring in a whole lot more context.
Yes.
But yeah, just
with the combat?
Well, combat's been covered. I mean, we just need to have a lot more context. We have to have, a little bit more interaction with it and everything like that. I had something in my head, but of course, like usual, I'm already forgetting it. Be more imaginative. You know?
Creative.
Don't be afraid of failure.
Yeah, I agree.
Don't always think about winning and everything like that. It's like, if you're going to do something, and I grant there have been campaigns where we have, gone and done that and we failed.
Sure. And
everything like that. But we've been given a chance to, come back from it.
And redeem.
Even though it might affect us in the end. But, that's just part of this, like you said, it's part of the story.
Yeah. Part of a good story.
Part of a good story that makes me win. I'm going to try and give you guys more of a challenge.
It's hard, right?
Right.
Yes.
It's just like, and it's not with just the monsters, and it's just like, it's with the story. Because granted, you guys are dealing with like difficult people in Icewind Dale.
Right.
And everything like that. You truly are. They're hardened people. They live in a frozen wasteland. And all they really eat is caribou and
knucklehead trout.
Yeah, pastime is scrimshawing.
Yep.
And
it has been in a winter for what, 2-3 years?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, it sucks.
It's. I mean, granted, and not only that, it's just like definitely. Maybe before I start getting all imaginative, is like, because I find myself also like not reading through at all. Because like I'll read a part and everything like that. I'm like, oh, they gotta do that. But it's just like, maybe I should make it and fucking hell, I should just try and start reading the entire chapter
instead of skimming.
Yeah, well, I don't really skim. Like, it's just like I see a part, I go through it. I have read a lot of the chapters in there, but like recently, it's like I haven't. It's because it's just like, oh well, I gotta go off of this.
I think you and I have talked about this, and you tell me if I'm off base, because I've had similar problems with these pre-generated characters. There's a lot of material in the book.
Yeah.
I have taken up the habit, and I didn't do this at the beginning, of highlighting. As I'm reading that chapter, now that I've done it a couple of times, I go, yep, this is probably going to come up. This is important. So I highlight it.
Right.
It makes it that when you're in the heat of the moment, sitting at the table with the player characters, and you don't want to hold them up for 10 minutes while you're refamiliarizing yourself with a particular section. And trust me, I've been there.
Oh, yeah, I do it too.
The highlights really kind of pop out and go, oh, yeah, I remember.
Right. No, you have a good point there. Yeah, I should definitely start doing that. I think the thing is just like, I didn't want to ruin. I thought you giving me that book.
I did.
I thought it was yours.
No, it's your book.
So it's just like, I didn't want to do anything to it. But now that I know that, I'm going to destroy it.
You can knock yourself silly. I do it to these other books, so
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't do it to that
Well,
one.
it's because it's just like, I had that. I thought that it was your book, that you were loaning it to me.
No,
so I shouldn't be like, thrashing the shit out of it.
I gave it to you. It's not on loan because I will have no purpose for it when the campaign's done. What am I going to do with it? Exactly.
But yeah, I'm going to try a lot harder to give you guys a challenge. I'm going to try harder for a lot more role play. Definitely with the NPCs, and just try my best to make something that's more challenging for you guys, and that will also try and bring out more of that role playing experience.
Yep.
It's just and not only that, I need to do it for my fucking self too. Not only as a DM, but also as a PC.
You say that like it's a bad thing.
I'm enjoying being a DM. Honestly, I am.
Yep.
There was another thing that we missed.
What did we miss?
We forgot about somebody else's campaign.
The potential of Jerome kicking off a campaign? Yeah. Man, I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. I enjoyed when we did, whatever the certain sessions that we had for it.
Yeah, there weren't many.
What, they were 2 or 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they were still fun.
Yeah, no, I agree.
And I
really
literally dove headlong into what I could remember of Tolkien's work.
Well, you might as well just tell the listener what we're talking about and give them some context.
It's Middle Earth.
A Middle Earth campaign. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, I jumped into the knowledge of all that. Especially because, it's just I wanted to work on that background for my dwarf.
Yes. Oh, you're pathological.
Well, Rome's plays elves all the damn time.
Yeah.
I play dwarves all the damn time.
It's funny because I used to play dwarves all the time. It used to be my stick.
But now that he's playing a dwarf, I feel like it's only necessary, that since I've been through all this, I should probably play an elf. Granted, Roland is a half elf, but he's not full elf.
Right.
And it's you don't see me playing a fucking half dwarf.
Right.
So I think I have to go. I think I would have to make a character for that. And I might even do it for his campaign, depending.
I was playing an elf in his campaign, I believe.
Were you?
Or was I playing a dwarf?
I don't think you were playing a dwarf. I think you might have been playing a human.
Yeah, maybe. I don't remember now. Holy crap.
So long ago.
Yeah, so long ago. But yeah, if he follows through with his non-promise, and he spends a little time and work on it, I would really
he's been doing it.
Would really like to do that.
Yeah.
Do that Middle Earth campaign.
Yeah.
It would be kick-ass.
And another one that I would like to actually dive into for you.
Oh shit.
Cyberpunk.
Oh yeah. We did a one shot on that Cyberpunk Red campaign,
which I enjoyed.
Yes.
Greatly.
Me too.
That was tons of fun, even though it was with your kid.
Yeah, Casey enjoyed it too.
Yeah, no, it was just the two of us infiltrating that freaking whatever place just to get some sort of thingy.
Yeah, you guys infiltrated a embassy.
Yep.
And you were trying to get information on the location of a yacht.
Yep.
That had brought in some kind of, I don't know, special forces is the right word, but a group of
high-tech douchebags.
Yeah, some douchebags.
Douchebaggins.
And so you needed that information to figure out the location of the yacht, and then the next part of it was to track that down and do some other stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do still have a recording of that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been holding on to it for a situation similar to what happened today, where I still have this one shot of Cyberpunk Red where I would post it up when there was
good idea.
Nothing else to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. But unfortunately, that's the only thing I have in the bank for a situation like today. But we can work on that. That's another problem for another day.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this has been very interesting. Hopefully, I mean, it's been helpful for me. Hopefully, it's been helpful for you. Hopefully, it's been interesting and helpful for the listener. with a plural S at the end of that. Next week, I believe we will be playing the After the Tomb of Annihilation campaign. I'm really sorry we didn't get to play Rime of the Frost Maiden this week, but that'll come. Unless you got something else you want to throw in there at the end there, buddy. I'm gonna hit the end button and then roll the outro.
Whoa. Just everybody have a good day. Great evening. Play D&D. And have fun.
Damn right, that's the key word there.
There you go.
Make it fun.
Make it fun.
There you go.
But also make it merciless.
That's right. No mercy.